Hi, hello, good morning everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Planting Peppers, Jamaican Farming. Today we'll be moving on to some of our 6-week crops. As you see, these are some very larger trees than the 4-week ones. They've already produced probably 12 leaves, some probably 9, some you can see as our 4-week crops as well. Still producing probably 2 to 4 leaves, as well as 4 to 5 leaves, maybe 6 as well. Well, what we'll be doing today, we're moving forward first by cleaning and molding our crops. Once we clean and mold the crops, we'll move on why some of these crops are looking like our 4-week crops and why some of our 6-week crops have 12, some have probably 9, some have less amount. So first we'll start by getting our leaves out. And another thing, as you see, we probably have some wild leaves and trees, which these are not peppers. We'll try to get all of these out the way, cause we intend to say they draw insects, because once you're looking green and fresh as well, insects will come about. So we try to get them out of the way and not for them to crowd the peppers or to sprout wild pollens on the peppers. So what we do, we remove these wild ones. So our beds is mostly peppers. So as I said, I'll start by cleaning, then after I'll mold our peppers as well. As I mentioned in our nursery videos, it's best to keep your beds clean. So you keep your beds clean from all those insects and caterpillars as well as slugs which crawl about the live vegetation. So we keep our beds clean, so if in case they should run about, they are easily spotted. As I said, it's a very rainy season here in Jamaica, so the soil is very moist. We get morning and we get afternoon showers as well. So as you see, these crops are 6 weeks, but it still look a bit as our 4-week crops. So probably it was slowed down by sunlight, as in the fresher leaves that shouldn't pop it out. The sunlight probably was too intense, so it probably burned the starting leaves, so they had to rebud. So now it's in its rebud process. So if you look, you might see some smaller leaves popping beneath the larger leaves at the bottom. So it's in its rebudding process. So most of these little small ones which you see are 6 weeks, they're going through a rebudding process. Their bud was damaged probably by an ant or some other crawling insects, so they have to rebud to produce more larger leaves. As we move forward, you can see they are sprouting and budding their little leaves, the smaller leaves. As you see here, you can see roots sticking out. So this is why we mold regularly, because they try to spread. So we try to mold them very regularly, because the more root is sprouted, I think it's better your crops. Yes. So they get more space beneath the soil for their roots to move freely, so they can draw as much mineral, salt, and as much water as well. So as you see, our 6-week peppers, they're very close, and some people may wonder why they're so close. We try to let our peppers get as much pollen reproduction as well. Because we don't use fertilizers, we'll rely on the plants to transfer pollen to the other plants as well. So they'll do a pollen reproduction. So you may say they're reproducing all the pollens that have been transferred from each plant to another. So they keep fresh and green as well. And even though you can see that some of our 6-week crops, they're very smaller, they're looking just as the 4-week ones. As I said, they're in their rebudding process. So they're now rebudding, but as you see, they're still fresh and green. Because we still try to mold them. We still try to give them the same amount of water. Yes. So even though it's going through its rebudding process, it will still maintain its strength to move forward. So you'll see them sprouting probably 9 or 12 leaves as well. They probably produce later crops, but they'll still produce fruit. So as you see, most of these ones, they are going through a rebudding process. So if you see, they're not big or tall as they should be for 6 weeks, but they're still green, they're fresh, and as you see, we still try to mold them and keep them moist as well. Yes. We still try to keep them mold nice and cool. As you see, the larger ones, they have already sprouted bigger leaves. They have more body. Their chlorophylls are very nice. They're green, they're pretty, and they should start sprout probably their limbs in another 2 weeks. In the next video, I'll be moving forward to our 2-month crops. Those are the ones with sprout limbs. So once they sprout limbs, you know that they want to produce blossom. So once they start sprout limbs, they'll start to produce blossoms. So you can know that in probably another month you'll be seeing crops for the 3-month process. So as you see, I'm just molding in them, yes. And as you see, this one is 6 months, but it's just going through its rebudding process. So as I said, it could be damaged by an insect, probably an ant, a grasshopper, yeah, probably pest as well, as in flies. So it's just going back through its rebudding process. But as I said, we still try to keep it mold so it keeps fresh and moist as well. So in the next episode, we'll be moving forward to our 2-month crops. That's the crops that have already sprouted limbs. So thanks for watching, and please do remember to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Goodbye.